The 60 or so contributors to the notes and the essays at the end of this study Bible are drawn from quite a few countries, from many different denominations, and from some diversity of theological heritage. Well, first of all, there is the board of editors. In addition to myself, Doug Moo, who is also the chairman of the Committee on Bible Translation for the NIV, but then also Rick Hess and T.D. Alexander, two Old Testament scholars, one particularly strong in biblical theology, the other particularly strong in archaeology, and our assistant editor, Andy Naselli, who was extremely helpful on many, many fronts. That was the team of editors. They're from different parts of the world. Henri Blocher from France, for example, several from the UK, several from Australia, including people like David Peterson, whose commentary on Acts is so well known, for example. In addition, there are some younger scholars, Stephen Gathercole at Cambridge University, who writes brilliantly about whatever he addresses, and Brian Tabb, for example, who's still a very young scholar. There are others with years of experience behind them, like Bruce Waltke, Elmer Martins, for example.
I'm an Australian. I currently teach at the Melbourne School of Theology. I teach New Testament subjects. Having had the privilege of writing commentaries on John's Gospel and also on the letters of John, it was a great pleasure to be invited to write study notes on the letters of John for the New Study Bible.
I am Director of Postgraduate Studies at Union Theological College in Belfast. I also chair the Tyndale Fellowship for Biblical and Theological Research. It's been my privilege to be involved in editing several major reference books on the Bible. When I was invited to be part of the editorial team for the NIV Zondervan Study Bible, I was delighted to discover that it would have a very distinctive emphasis on biblical theology. In my university teaching and research on the Bible, I've always had a particular interest in understanding better how the different parts of the Bible come together and how they speak to me as a Christian. A grasp of biblical theology is especially important for this. While all good study Bibles shed light on the meaning of the biblical text, the NIV Zondervan Study Bible offers something fresh. And it does so by drawing on the experience of gifted scholars who have a common desire to teach the Word of God faithfully.
The strength of this study Bible depends in part on the strength of the influence of the NIV. The strength of a study Bible is not going to be stronger than the strength of the NIV. And I would like to think that this current NIV has huge potential for helping English-speaking Christians around the world, not only those for whom English is their first language, but also for millions and millions and millions of people around the world for whom English is their second language, to understand the Word of God in a way that is translationally faithful, but at the same time contemporary and not too technical. Now, the study Bible is built around that NIV translation. And so the two, it seems to me, go hand in hand. And I would like to hope, I certainly will pray, that the study Bible therefore will influence millions and millions of people to understand the Word of God, and therefore come, by God's grace, better to understand the gospel and better to love God with heart and soul and mind and strength, and their neighbors as themselves.